Beloved child, before you continue walking through the familiar burdens of your daily concerns, I invite you to pause for a moment, not to stop out of weakness, but to become aware of what is quietly shifting in depths your eyes have not yet perceived. For there are moments not measured by human clocks, but appointed by divine timing, when heaven touches earth and what has been written over your life from the beginning starts to unfold. You may think you are merely passing through a season of weariness. Yet I tell you, this is the very sign that a greater transformation is taking place, as it is written. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. And now you are standing within that appointed moment, even if you do not yet grasp its full meaning. I know there are times when you look at yourself and see nothing of worth. You see weakness, limitation, failures, and spaces within you that no one seems to understand. Yet what you see is only the surface, while I look into the innermost place of your being, where every tear you have shed has become a seed for a new strength. You do not realize that every time you choose to keep walking despite exhaustion, you are building a foundation that no storm can overthrow, as it is written. My strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. And it is precisely in the places where you feel empty that I am working most powerfully within you. Perhaps you have thought that the silence you feel is a sign that I have withdrawn. But child, I have never left you. That stillness is not distance, but an invitation to draw deeper into a closeness that does not depend on emotion or outward signs. In nature, hidden streams are not seen when the ground is still moist, but when the earth becomes dry and cracks open, the water beneath is revealed. In the same way, the fractures within your soul are not signs of failure, but openings through which I pour a life you have never yet known. As it is written, I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. Isaiah 44:3. And I am doing this within you, even when you do not yet feel it. My beloved, I know the battles you are facing have left you weary, but do not misunderstand their purpose. What you are enduring has not come to destroy you, but to remove what does not belong to you. Just as a blacksmith places metal into the fire to purge its impurities and shape it into a sharpened blade, I allow pressure to draw near to you so that your true form may emerge. When the fire burns most intensely, it is not the moment the metal is ruined, but the moment it becomes most pliable to be refined. So it is with you in your hardest moments. I am shaping you for a purpose far greater than you can yet see, as it is written. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Malachi 3:3. And that very work is now being carried out within you. Therefore, instead of fearing what you do not understand, learn to trust in what you cannot yet see clearly. When you feel emptied, it is the moment you are no longer leaning on your own strength, but beginning to rely on mine. When words fail in prayer, I still hear the language of your heart. When you no longer have strength to walk, I carry you forward. As it is written, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah 40:31. And I am renewing you from within, not in the way you expect, but in the way you truly need. Let your heart come to rest in this truth. You are not lost. You are being led. You are not delayed. You are being prepared. You are not forgotten. You are being preserved for the right moment. And when you look back upon this journey, you will understand that nothing has been wasted. Every trial, every tear, every silence has contributed to the person I am forming within you. So continue walking, beloved, not with the certainty that comes from your own understanding, but with the trust that flows from my love, for I am not merely guiding you through this season. I am transforming you within it, and when all is fulfilled, you will not emerge with only a changed circumstance, but with a renewed identity steadier, deeper, and brighter, reflecting the very light I placed within you from the beginning. Beloved child, I know there are days when you tell yourself that you are simply trying to keep everything from falling apart, that each step you take is merely to survive another day. Yet I tell you this not as comfort alone, but as truth. You are not merely surviving. You are being transformed into a flame that carries truth. This fire is not given for display, but for purification, to burn away what has long been rooted in your lineage. Things that generations before you carried in silence. You are not the first to feel the weight of what you did not create, but you are the one chosen to end the cycle. As it is written, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. And I have placed that light within you not to be hidden, but to expand and dissolve every shadow that once remained. But you must understand this: no delay exists outside my authority. What you call delay is often the process by which I am aligning everything around you, people, circumstances, and your own inner being, so that when the door opens, you will not only enter, but remain standing. I am not concerned with how quickly you arrive. I am concerned that you arrive ready and in the right moment. And in the very instant when you feel closest to giving up, I step in and bring an end to the cycle. I place my hand upon your life and declare, enough. Not because you have done enough, but because the time has been fulfilled. Now hear this, not only with your ears, but with the trembling of your heart. My mercy is greater than any plan ever formed against you. No power in darkness can override what I have determined for your life. No human voice can shut what I have opened. As it is written, if God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. And when I stand between you and the storm, no wind can cause you to fall if you choose to remain in me. There may have been moments when you thought I arrived too late, when you believed I was silent at the time you needed me most. But child, I am never late. I come at the precise moment when you can no longer rely on yourself, so that you will know what unfolds is not the result of your effort, but the expression of my grace. Not a single tear you have shed has been wasted. I have gathered them all, and I am transforming them into a new season, a season in which you no longer strive to prove your worth, but simply walk in what I have already ordained for you. Therefore, let your heart come to rest in this truth. You are not stuck. You are being moved. You are not delayed. You are being prepared for a precise and appointed breakthrough, and the fire I have placed within you will not be extinguished. For it does not originate from you, it comes from me. Wherever that fire burns, darkness cannot remain. Wherever I act, every old cycle must come to an end. And I declare over your life today, what belongs to you will be restored. The doors that have been held back will be opened, and you will step forward, not in fear, but in the assurance that I have already gone before you in all things. Beloved child, there is a call rising, not from the outside, but from the very depths where I have planted it within you. And today, I am drawing you back to your true identity, not the version of yourself shaped by limitation or fear, but the one I formed from the beginning. You have grown accustomed to seeing yourself as one who must endure, as a soul merely trying to keep from breaking apart. Yet I tell you again, you were not created simply to survive. You were fashioned as a warrior, hidden under my covering, waiting for the appointed time to emerge. As it is written, the Lord is my refuge and my fortress, Psalm 91:2. And within that refuge, I have not weakened you, but strengthened you in ways unseen. Now I speak to you, not with gentle encouragement alone, but with the weight of a decree. It is time for you to rise, not as one trying to correct past mistakes, but as one awakened to the truth of who you are. You have walked through days when you thought you could not continue. You have endured nights when everything seemed to fade into darkness. And yet you did not let go of me. And in those very moments when you were at your weakest but still clinging to me, I was building a foundation within you that cannot be shaken. As it is written, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." Isaiah 40:31. And that renewed strength is not given merely for you to stand, but for you to move forward. I place before you a responsibility, not as a burden to weigh upon your shoulders, but as an honor I entrust to you to become a flame that carries truth. This fire does not depend on the rise and fall of your emotions, nor does it fade when circumstances shift. Because it does not originate from you, it flows from my very breath within you. You are called not merely to exist within your surroundings, but to shape them. When you enter a place, you do not bring only your personal presence. You carry the authority I have established upon your life. As it is written, "You are the light of the world," Matthew 5:14. And light is not created to be hidden, but to be revealed. My beloved, I have not given you a light assignment, but I have given you a mission worthy of all you have endured, to break the chains that have existed across generations. I do not choose one who has never known pain to bring healing. I choose one who has tasted pain, yet refused to let it define them. You understand what others cannot express. You perceive what others fail to see. And for this reason, you carry within you the key to unlock doors that have remained closed for far too long. As it is written, "He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the captives and recovery of sight for the blind," Luke 4:18. And this is not merely a story of the past, it is becoming reality through you. I know there are cycles within your family that others have accepted as normal, but I call them chains. I see the hidden wounds, the inherited patterns, the limitations that have been mistaken for destiny. Yet, I did not create you to continue those patterns. I have positioned you as the point where what is old comes to an end and what is new begins. You do not carry the key because you are perfect. You carry it because you refuse to run from the truth. You are willing to confront, willing to let me reach into the deepest places within you. And that is what makes you prepared for this calling. So today, I call you not to return to the past, but to step into your true role. Rise not by your own strength, but in the assurance that I go before you. Walk forward not with hesitation, but with the understanding that I have been preparing you through every stage. And as you move, remember that you are not alone. I am not only beside you, I am making a way ahead of you. As it is written, "The Lord himself goes before you," Deuteronomy 31:8. And where I go before you, no door can remain closed. Beloved child, this is no longer the time for you to question whether you are enough. This is the moment to recognize that I have made you enough, not by the standards of the world, but by the measure of heaven. And as you walk in this truth, you will see that you are not only delivered from what once bound you, you are sent to bring freedom to others. The fire within you will not only illuminate your own path, but will become light for many who still walk in darkness. And I, who began this work in you, will remain faithful to complete it until the very end. Beloved, be still within the quiet you are sensing, for it is not an empty void, but a sign of a deeper movement unfolding within the spiritual realm. I am working in places your eyes cannot see and your ears cannot hear. Yet your soul has begun to tremble, like water stirred by an unseen current. You may not yet be able to name it, but I tell you this, I am opening within you a depth you have never entered before. As it is written, "Deep calls unto deep," Psalm 42:7. And the depth within me is calling to the depth within you, drawing you into a new dimension of life, no longer bound by what is past. And within this transition, you will begin to notice something unexpected. The voices that once weighed heavily upon you will gradually lose their power. The accusations that once echoed in your mind will no longer carry the same authority. The memories that once pulled you backward will no longer be able to hold you in place. Not because they never existed, but because I am rebuilding you from within, laying a new foundation for your soul that no force from your past can break. As it is written, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. And this newness is not a fleeting emotion, but an entirely renewed structure that I am establishing within you. My child, in this stillness, I am tightening what once became loose through the battles you have endured. I am strengthening the places that were once vulnerable, not with the hardness of the world, but with a strength born from my presence. The doors that once drained your energy and stole your peace, I am now closing not to restrict you, but to protect what I have placed within you. And I am drawing you back into my refining fire, not to cause fear, but to purify you until your true nature becomes clearer than ever before. As it is written, the words of the Lord are pure words, like silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times, Psalm 12:6. And you are being refined in the same way, not to lose yourself, but to become more pure. I know there are hidden places within your heart that you have learned to conceal, not because you wish to hide them from me, but because you have never felt safe enough to open them. There are wounds you have kept silent about, because each remembrance brings a sharp pain. There are disappointments you have swallowed, believing you must be stronger, must endure more. But beloved, I do not call you here to expose you to judgment. I call you here to heal you with a gentleness only I can give. As it is written, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. And that is exactly what I am doing within you right now. Remember the story of Hagar, a woman cast into the wilderness, carrying the weight of rejection and loneliness until she believed she could go no further. Yet in that place of dryness and despair, I met her. I did not only see her, I called her by name. And I opened her eyes to a well she had not seen before. And she called me the God who sees me. So it is with you in the places where you believed you were abandoned. I have been there all along, not distant, not turned away, but waiting for the moment when your heart would open to recognize my presence. Beloved child, I want you to understand this clearly. I am not afraid of your weakness. I do not avoid the places where you have been broken. What you think is too much, too complicated, or too wounded does not push me away, it draws me closer. When you tremble, I do not stand at a distance observing, I hold you. When you weep, I do not remain silent, I gather every tear as something precious. When you feel you have no strength left, I do not leave, I come nearer still. As it is written, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. And this is not merely a promise, it is the reality you are living within. So do not be afraid of the silence you are passing through. It is not my absence, but the space I am preparing so that I may work more deeply within you. Do not fear the emotions that are rising to the surface, for they do not come to overwhelm you, but to be healed. Do not fear the refining fire, for it is not sent to destroy you, but to remove what does not belong to you. And when this process is complete, you will recognize that you are no longer the same person. You will stand steadier, lighter, and freer. My beloved, I am restoring you piece by piece, with careful intention and unwavering love. And when you step out of this season, you will not simply feel better, you will become new, with a foundation that cannot be shaken. because it is not built upon your experience, but upon my presence within you. Beloved child, let this truth settle into every breath you take, every beat of your heart, not as a passing thought, but as something unshakable. You belong to me in a way no darkness can ever claim. What rises against you may slow you down, may exhaust you, may even cloud your mind for a moment, but it has no authority over the mark I have placed upon your life. As it is written, I have called you by name, you are mine, Isaiah 43:1. And that mark is not something circumstances or emotions can erase. It is a living covenant between you and me. There may have been moments when you doubted yourself, when you questioned whether you were still on the right path. But child, your doubt does not cause me to waver. You may see yourself as lacking, but I have never seen you that way. You may feel empty at times, yet the well of life I have placed within you will never run dry. As it is written, whoever believes in me, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water, John 7:38. And that river does not depend on how you feel, it flows from me, the source that never fails. I know there are days when it feels as though you are walking through a fog, uncertain of the path ahead, unsure of your direction, and yet you are still moving forward. And that is what matters. You may walk slowly, but you are not turning back. You may grow weary, but you are not abandoned. As it is written, though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, Proverbs 24:16. And you are not an exception to that truth. You are its living testimony. I do not remove every trial from your path, but I preserve you from losing yourself within it. Feel this. My beloved, my presence is not merely beside you, but surrounding you like a mantle, not to suffocate you, but to shield you from everything that seeks to pull you down. As it is written, he shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge, Psalm 91:4. And within that covering, I am not weakening you, but freeing you from the fear that has held you bound for far too long. I am leading you out of the false safety that fear once offered, and drawing you into a deeper place where you learn to trust not by what your eyes can see, but by my presence that never fails. Remember Moses when he stood before the Red Sea water on one side, enemies behind him, and no visible way forward. To the natural eye, it appeared to be the end, yet I did not leave him trapped in that moment. I did not simply open a path, I created a way where no way had ever existed. And what I did for him, I am able to do for you. What you perceive as a dead end is often the very place where I am preparing to reveal my power in a way you could never produce on your own. And now, beloved child, as you have passed through seasons of testing, refining, and preparation, I place upon your life a declaration not only for you to hear, but for the spiritual realm to acknowledge. You are sent, no longer as one seeking refuge from wounds, but as one who carries healing, no longer as one waiting for miracles, but as one who becomes living evidence that miracles are real. As it is written, you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, Acts 1:8. And that power is not given for you to keep, but to release wherever I send you. You do not enter this new season empty-handed. I have already placed within you what is required for the journey ahead, a sharpened discernment to recognize truth from deception, a firm foundation that will not be shaken by circumstances, and a sensitivity to perceive what others cannot hear. You are no longer in the place you once stood. You are no longer aligned with the same patterns that once governed you. Something within you has shifted. And that shift is not temporary, it is the unveiling of a new identity. From this moment forward, you no longer walk by your own strength, but by my breath within you. You no longer stand upon fragile confidence, but upon the authority I have entrusted to you. You no longer live in reaction to what surrounds you, but to shape it through the light I have placed inside you. As it is written, stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, Ephesians 6:14. And you are not merely imagining this, you are being clothed in it as a living reality. Beloved child, hear this clearly. You have been called not by accident, but with intention. You have been prepared not through ease, but through seasons of testing. And now, you are being sent, not when you feel ready, but when I know you are ready, according to heaven's measure. Therefore, move forward without hesitation, without turning back, without shrinking away, for wherever you go, light will follow you. Where you stand, truth will be revealed, and where you remain, what was once bound will begin to be set free. You have been called, you have been formed, and now you are sent. And now, as you have heard the call and sensed my breath sustaining each step you take, I do not invite you to remain in silence any longer, but to respond not with rehearsed words, but with a voice that flows from the deepest place within your soul. So open your heart like a door no longer locked, and step into this sacred moment where you need not hide, need not strive, but simply be fully present before me. For I do not seek perfection from you. I seek a heart that turns toward me. Therefore, let this invitation guide you. Now, offer to me the voice of your heart with all sincerity and your deepest longing. For I listen, not only with hearing, but with a love that knows no limit. Almighty God, you who have called me out of darkness into unfading light, today I do not come before you with fragile confidence in myself, but with a soul that has been awakened, with a heart that knows I belong to you and that nothing can separate me from your love. Establish within me a firm foundation, where every thought, every emotion, and every action is no longer governed by old fears, but led by your living truth, as it is written, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. John 8:32. Let that truth not remain as knowledge alone, but become the life I walk, the path I follow, and the reality I carry in every moment. Loving Father, I bring before you the hidden parts within me, the wounds not yet healed, the memories not yet spoken, the tears I have swallowed in silence. I no longer wish to hide, nor to heal myself by my own strength, but I place all into your hands. For I believe there is no safer place than your presence. Touch these deep places, not with power that brings fear, but with gentleness that restores. As it is written, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. Let every fractured part within me be made whole, not only so I may be healed, but so I may become an instrument of healing for others. Faithful One, I also bring before you the doubts that once caused me to hesitate, the questions that had no answers, the moments when I wondered whether I was enough. Today, I choose to place my trust not in my feelings, but in your promises. Teach me to walk not by what I see, but by what you have spoken, as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. Romans 1:17. Let that faith become the foundation beneath my feet, so that even when circumstances shift, my heart remains steady, unshaken, and unmoved. God of all grace, I surrender to you the journey ahead, the places I will go, the people I will encounter, the things I will face. I do not know everything, but I know that you go before me. Let me walk not in fear, but in the assurance that you have already made a way. As it is written, the Lord himself goes before you. Deuteronomy 31:8. Let every step I take no longer be uncertain, wandering, but a response to your guidance, so that I may not only walk the right path, but arrive in the right time. And Father, I also lay before you the mission you have entrusted to me to be light in places of darkness, to be a voice where silence prevails, to be a flame where hearts have grown cold. I know I cannot accomplish this in my own strength, yet I believe that you are at work within me. Give me the courage not to shrink back when I am called, but to step forward boldly, not to exalt myself, but to glorify you through my life. As it is written, let your light shine before others. Matthew 5:16. Let that light not be something I strive to produce, but something that flows naturally as I remain close to you, keeper of my soul. I also give thanks to you for the seasons I once called delay, but now see as preparation. I thank you for the trials that did not destroy me, but built me. I thank you for the closed doors that led me to the right ones. As it is written, all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. And now I understand. Nothing in my journey has been meaningless. Everything has been leading me to the place you have appointed. And as I stand in that gratitude, I begin to see that this journey is no longer about striving to become someone, but about returning to the person you created me to be. I no longer need to prove my worth, for it has already been defined by your love. I no longer chase recognition, for I have been known from the beginning. I no longer fear the future, because the future rests in your hands. And now I go not alone, but with you, not in fear, but in light, not as one lost, but as one led. For I know that the one who has called me is also the one who will faithfully complete what he has begun in me, until the day it is made whole. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this, you are not merely an audience, you are chosen to live daily in the presence of the Word of God. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any spiritual message. Amen.